Rich Mitch. I love you. Hello. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
I was thinking about holding you backstage. Hello, everybody. I was thinking about holding you backstage and introducing you, but you're always here. You know, I can't get rid of you. You're just like
That's
part
right.
of the furniture when
I'm
it
like
comes to these streams.
make glue out of ducks, like horses.
There you go. How have you been on this fine Saturday?
I've been okay. It's been anything but a fine Saturday here today. It's been on and off. The rain has been coming. It's been distinctly autumnal. It's been a little bit chilly, and it's been grey, and it's been overcast, and it's rained. But I went out for some soup today.
Soup.
And I got tomato and basil and had a little bit of spice, a little bit of pepper, I should say, rather than spice. And then I had a Starbucks tea. Starbucks do a nice tea.
I like Starbucks. I'm a big fan of Starbucks coffee. This is shite. Tim Hortons. It's the worst.
Tim Hortons.
Yeah, it's the worst. I'd pay the extra $1.25 for Starbucks over this. This is burnt. It gives me a headache. It doesn't taste good. Starbucks smells rich to me, like richer. I mean, there's better than Starbucks, but as far as like mainstream coffee houses, I much prefer Starbucks than Tim's. But yeah, I was just running some errands, dropped my kid off to work, did some grocery shopping, picked up some more cigars. Got in this really bad cigar habit. And then just on the way talking to Rich, he's like, yeah, no, just kind of like shooting the breeze. And I was like, live stream. And his response was, God, yes. And I was like, okay, it's time. That's the answer I was looking for. Good.
Yes, I'm extremely keen for a live stream. I've just been bored witless all evening. I don't know why. I was going to play on my PlayStation. I bought the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to play all of those. And then yesterday, I was taking a parcel to the post office and bending down to pick it up. I had a back spasm. So there's no chance of being able to just sit and play on computer all day because I'll just not be able to move. Do you know what I mean? Like I know better. You can't just sit and play computer games when your back's in that state. So I've been doing exercises, physio, been moving around and shit like that, and I've managed to stretch most of it out. But I've been taking some funky painkillers today. So it's been a strange old day. It's been a strange old day.
I hope you're feeling better. I know you're a little bit sore. I hope you're feeling better. Yesterday did that unboxing, and I got my son to help me, and I said, ooh, I'm not sure I want to get his face in the video because I know the internet's a mean and nasty and cruel place, and I don't want to go there. And if, I don't mind being attacked myself, but if somebody were to say something about my kid,
yeah,
I'd hunt him down. I'd come and find him. Like a mother lion, right? I'd fucking travel 7,000 kilometers. And he's like, and I told him that. I said, you know what, you can be in because he's never been in any of my videos. And I said, I don't mind you being in the video, but I don't want to capture your face. And I told him why. And he's like, Dad, I don't mind. Like, I grew up with the internet. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto online since I was 4. I'm used to that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
I had to stand there for a second and think about, holy shit, he's right. But still, as a parent, I feel like I got to protect my kids from the internet. So I was like, oh, you can be in the video, right? But I'm not sure I want to capture your face. I don't want to include you. So
yeah. No, I know what you mean. It is a funny thing. It is a funny thing. That's one of the reasons I made a decision when I was younger. I didn't want to settle down with a girl. And 2, if I did settle down with a girl, I'd think long and hard about having kids because I know what I'm like when even a perceived slight against my mother, like if somebody like nobody, I mean, don't get us wrong, nobody's ever said anything about my mother, not even like your mama. Like your mama jokes is like a different thing, isn't it? It's not nasty. But if like somebody like bumps into your mother and something walking down the street, like it just happens. It just comes out. You know what I mean? You're just like, watch out, it's me mother. You know, and I can't imagine how much worse it would be if it was a child. You know what I mean? Yeah. It would just be like, do you know what I mean? Like a nasty evil duck would come out and start pecking in their eyes and stuff like that. You know, all that evil shit.
Mother jokes were quite common when we were in grade school, but you know, they're always very immature.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
they come from a very immature place. They come from, I don't know. Yeah, they don't come from a loving place.
Yeah, they're just like silly. You know what I mean? Like I can take like your mother jokes because everybody shoots your mother jokes at everyone. It's not like actually aimed at my mother. It's like generic your mother.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, it's like the great mother in the sky. Do you know what I mean? It's like everybody's mother and nobody's mother at the same time. Yes, Paroli says ask your son to wear a duck mask. That you could do. Put a little.
That might be an idea. That might be interesting.
Get him a duck mask.
Jay Croner asking Eugene, what will be Robe's first video back?
Oh God,
I'm not sure.
Maybe an unboxing.
What do you think it would be, Croner?
An unboxing, perhaps.
A haul.
He could unbox himself.
Maybe a new Lamal flanker.
A new Lamal flanker. Good Lord. Paroli sent me an email this afternoon asking why Lamal Essence de Parfum, the leather one, has two different colored juices, and I don't know that it did, but he swears that's one of them was blue and one of them was purple. And mine's definitely purple, but I mean, it could just be one of those things where it just changes color over time, or that it was different colorants are used in different continents, you know. But I had no idea.
That's interesting. Is it the exact same perfume? I know my Chanel number 22s were different colors, but it's not a big deal ultimately.
Yeah,
I don't think Lamal is going to be a case of natural materials being the cause of discoloration.
Yeah, unless it's something like vanillin, because vanillin does change over time. Vanillin does actually do that, and vanillin's in fucking almost everything. You know? Because it's cheap as chips. But I did have a question for you actually, which has just came to my mind. So somebody today was asking a friend of mine about, is it Jicky and something that was a couple of vintage derbies and how they have Civet. Give us 2 seconds. If I go off, I'll come back. Just give us a second. I need to check this chat. Where are you? Let's have a look. Okay, so I was wondering what the deal with Civet in Shalimar and Jicky Parfum is. Love it in the EDPs. Apparently it's not in the extras. Do you know anything about that?
What version does he have? I imagine anything modern is a synthetic.
I would have thought that as well.
Probably be the vintage would probably be a natural Civet.
Yes,
probably using like a Civet tone now.
Yeah, I smelled. Sorry,
what do they mean by what is up with this Civet?
So I think they were wondering. Like, apparently there is no Civet in the Parfum versions, in the pure Parfum versions. But that's what they've heard. Apparently they'd heard this on Fragrantica, and I was like, well, fuck me, if it's on Fragrantica, it must be true.
Right. Free Julian Assange.
I was just about to say free Julian Assange.
Fuck is that all about?
Absolutely.
I was shocked. Like, I was scrolling through Fragrantica and I saw it. I was like, what the F? Like, seriously? When did this turn into a political thing?
Such a strange one to start off with if you're going to go down the political route. That's
especially considering that they claim not to be a political website.
Yeah, I mean, somebody sent that to me. I think it was Jura Rose, and he was like, "Oh, it looks like Fragrantica has been hacked." And I was like, "Oh, if they have been hacked, that's them fucked, because their website, their website care and update is absolutely trash. It's awful. Like if they've been hacked, they've got no hope of getting unhacked because they're useless. But it looks like they may have done it on purpose. So how bizarre.
I have no idea. I don't mind Fragrantica. I mean, it's free. First of all, it's free. I get to go on there, enjoy it. The reviews are kind of all over the place. You never know what you're going to get, but it's probably one of the better sources of information out there right now. All in one place.
It's like the Ford of
I don't go there to read political propaganda. If they want to, politicize their website, they can do whatever they want. I don't care. I go there, I go there knowing what I'm looking for, and everything else is just it's in the path, right?
Yeah, it's
none of it affects me whatsoever.
It's just such a strange one that it just like popped up out of nowhere. It wasn't like Save the Pandas or something like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Greenpeace or fucking, like it was like free Julian Assange, and it's like just Julian Assange wear perfume. Is this like that was like because my mate suggested to me that they'd been hacked, so I thought, oh well, it'll be like taken down immediately. And then I thought, no, it's Fragrantica. Like that, it took them years to modernize their website, and even when they did, it only brought it up to date to about 2014, and that was like in 2020. So I was like, then it's not the easiest website in the world to use. So I thought that like the web presence isn't great, although I do agree with you. It is my website of choice for perfume. Simply because I've always used it and I know how to use it. Even though I don't think it's great, I still know how to use it.
Yeah, they got. I think their perfume section is pretty decent. However, if I want to read a conversation or a forum, I much prefer base notes for that, like their forum over Fragrantica.
Yeah,
I find Fragrantica's forum a little bit clunky.
Yeah, Fragrantica's the website, like I said, the web presence, the website itself is not particularly easy to use. Like,
I don't post ever, very little, very not often at all in the forums, but I scroll them once in a while just to see kind of what's up. But Fragrantica, I'll scroll once every 6 months, maybe. Like their forum, I don't really go on there very often. But I do use their database more than I do use base notes.
Yeah, the base notes ones,
they're all free. We don't have to pay to go on there, so I don't really care what they do or how they make money. The advertising is sometimes a bit much, but I can't complain about either because I advertise my own videos. How am I gonna talk shit about them but give myself the freedom to do the exact same thing? It's just hypocritical. So
yeah,
I don't mind. It's a small price to pay to get a free service.
Yes,
I can sit there and criticize and bash them for all these little things, but it doesn't help me.
Oh.
Anyway,
I was going to say, what have you been wearing today?
Guess what I've been wearing today? Guess.
La Talere Squeeze.
No, I haven't. For some reason, yeah, my kids came over and I had a bunch of perfumes on the table yesterday. Alex Chu came over. Chu's Shoes came over the other night and he wanted to smell a bunch of things, so I had them left over on the table. My kids started picking them up and smelling them, and we had this Vanille Havana, and they were smelling it, and they're like, "Oh, this is really like Christmassy." And I was like, "Oh, okay, here, try this. Like, compare this. This is Toba Kolar." And it happened to be on the table. And before I went, I put on a spray of Toba Kolar, and then I went to go get some cigars. And I thought to myself, this isn't a bad fragrance, Toba Kolar, if it was released by, like, let's say Dolce & Gabbana. But for me, it feels underwhelming being a Christian Dior.
Yeah.
That's what I wore. I wore it for 2 hours, and I took a shower. Now I'm clean. I got nothing on right now.
I did that today, actually.
I put it on because I know I'd be in it for a limited amount of time.
Yeah, I put my fragrance on, then ended up going in the shower, but then I put the same fragrance going on after I got out the shower. So there we are. I decided to wear.
You put the exact same fragrance on after a shower?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wow. Why did you decide to do that?
I only ever wear one scent of the day per day. I don't wear a scent of the day and a scent of the night. I just wear a scent of the day. And that is, I just do that for simplicity, you know.
Yeah.
I just like to do that. Excuse me. Oh, like it's just easier. And I decided today to wear Lorenzo Villarese's patchouli. Very earthy patchouli. Literally smells like earth. You know, it's very soily.
I like earthy patchouli.
Yeah, it's very soily. I was like, this smells like dirt. And then it's got like this kind of wooden, like imagine like you're in like a wood, or not a forest, but a wood, right? And then like for some reason you're lying face down next to a wet tree, right? It's got this kind of soily, woody patchouli kind of thing. Like there's like patchouli on the forest floor, on like the floor of the wood, right? And then, but it's been raining as well, so the earth is a little bit damp.
Dang,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so's the wood though. The wood's also a little bit damp. It's very, very interesting. I was like, ooh. And it does smell a bit like the beginning of autumn, you know, like when everything starts to like all the leaves start to fall off and everything starts to decay a little bit. But there's still like life there.
So does it have a contrast of dryness?
The patchouli, strangely enough, the patchouli's got that. It's not scratchy. It's not like Kritsia Moods, which is so dry it feels like it would like dry your skin out and make it peel, right? Like it's got this. It's just that facet of the patchouli as well. Somehow the wood feels like it's wet and the earth feels like it's wet, but the patchouli is still like a bit dry, you know, and a little bit like, but not completely dry. It's not like Kritsia patchouli, which is incredibly dry, and scratchy and screechy, like feels like it's trying to tear your skin off. It's very, very well made, I feel, you know, because there's no, it feels like coherent. That's the word I'm looking for. It's coherent, you know. There's no major juxtaposition. There's no major sort of like contrast. There's no major contradiction, but there is a little bit. There is like little bits of differences. You know, there are different shades of things going on.
Yeah, I like my patchouli dry and scratchy, like the type in Coromandel or Heritage. Earthy, dry, scratchy, abrasive.
Yeah,
slightly green. Love it.
Yes.
What's everyone else in the chat wearing?
Lefteris Photopoulos is wearing Iskander by Parfum d'Empire. And I've got to say, I had that and gave it away. I thought that was not a good fragrance. I just thought it was bad quality. The bottle I had was bad quality because it was like the label was coming off, you know?
Yeah.
And like, but it wasn't coming off in like it wasn't coming off as in like it was all slipping away together. It was like like it was like peeling, you know, and like it had like a little hole in it too. And I was like, ooh, that's just not very good. And the cap was cheap. I don't know what kind of bottle it was, but the fragrance for me just absolute nothing burger. You know, just had nothing to it.
I think I've only tried one from that brand, and it was the incense one. Was Zamba or something like that?
Was Zamba?
Was Zamba? It was incense based. I thought it was all right. That was many years ago. I don't think I've smelt like the bigger ones from that brand, like the more popular ones.
Some people absolutely love that brand, you know, because I've said what I've said before about Iskander, and people have been like, no, you're wrong. And I've been like, no, it's like it's not good. And they were like, no, you're wrong. It's a great brand. So there's obviously it's got fans, you know what I mean? There are people out there who like it.
Omar is asking Egoist or Pour Monsieur a favorite. Are you asking us to decide between them, or are they both favorites? They're both favorites, if that's what you're asking. I love both.
Which really? Pour Monsieur? Because Pour Monsieur EDT for me just smells terrible.
I love the EDT, and it's very different from the EDP or whatever it's called now. It's been it used to be Cologne Concentré, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Or just Concentré. To me, I find them very different.
Yeah, they are very different. The Pour Monsieur is much more citrusy, and it's much more. The Pour Monsieur EDT is much more citrusy and much more mossy, whereas the Cologne Concentrate or the EDP is like lavender and smooth and like a bit more bergamot because it's got that kind of creamy sort of texture to it.
Yeah.
You know? And Pour Monsieur EDT smells lovely, but as soon as it touches my skin, it just turns to bleach, unfortunately, which is a shame because it does smell lovely on card on other people, but it hates me.
What aspect of it do you think from that turns into bleach? Is it the citruses?
Oh, it's the lemon. It's the citrus. Yeah, it's definitely the citrus, the lemon especially. It's one of the reasons I really don't like lemon. It was one of those really like lemon centric fragrances. And I literally put it on and I thought, oh, this is great. Like I was ready to buy it. I was going to go out and hunt for a vintage. Because I didn't smell it for years because I'd smelled it before and I thought it smelled like old man, which obviously is one of the criteria for me loving it now. But back in the day, I was like, oh, it smells like old man. I don't want to smell like that. And then I went back to smell it after I started getting into like that sort of fragrance. And I was fully like, I wanted to buy it. I was like ready to get it. And I was like, I'll just put it on skin, see what it smells like. And it was rough. And I've tried it since as well. And it just hates it. It just absolutely hates my skin, which it's infuriating because it smells lovely on other people and it smells lovely on a card. I'm not saying it's a bad fragrance. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad fragrance. I'm saying it just doesn't like me.
Give me a second. I'd like to introduce a very old friend, somebody that's well known in the community. I want everybody to say hello to Paolo.
Hey, Eugene. How are you? Oh, my God.
Good.
Crazy.
How's it going? It's good to see you.
I know, right? Oh, my God. Hi, Rich. How are you?
Hello. I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Yeah. Oh,
do you two know each other?
No, we don't. But I do know him.
You know, yeah.
No, I do watch his videos. That's why.
Okay. Oh, where are you now? I know for a while you were in Manila, then you were in the Middle East, and you were kind of traveling back and forth. Where are you?
So right now I'm back in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It's good to see you, man. I've known Paulo for 10 years maybe?
Yes, probably. Yeah. Way back even before YouTube reviewers, I think. Blew up, right?
Yeah. When the only outlet for Perfume was pretty much on Facebook. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you were talking about old vintage classics back then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 second. I've got another good friend here that's very familiar to the streams. Everybody say hello to the Ram.
Oh my God. Finally, Ramsey.
What's happening, guys?
Hello.
Oh my God. The dream team is here.
How you
That's
doing,
right.
Ram?
The dream team. Yes. Good to see everyone.
How's it going? How's your day?
It's good. I just finished shooting a video. About to upload it. But I don't think my phone can upload and talk, so here I am.
How long is the video?
It's less than an hour by about 2 minutes. So we're
right.
keeping it short.
Eugene, Ramsey probably doesn't know me yet. He just knows me by through chatting.
Okay, probably. But Ramsey, that's Paulo. He's an old friend. He's got his own channel. What's the name of your channel? Is it just Paulo's Perfumes?
No, it's my full name, Paulo Gomez.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a subscriber.
Yes, you are. I know. Well, see, here's the thing. So I just got back to Dubai about 2 months ago, and there's just been a lot of things happening in Dubai right now. That's why, Ramsey, I haven't been commenting on your videos as well. Anyway, once everything is settled, I'll start making reviews again.
Yes. How is Dubai?
How do you spell your last name? How do you spell? Sorry, how do you spell your last name? I'm looking for you on YouTube now.
Gomez. That's Gomez or Z.
Okay, no problem.
What are you sniffing there, Ramsey?
I ended up scoring a vintage bottle of Vert d'Encens by Tom Ford. It's discontinued.
Yeah. You know which one that I think is one of the best from Tom Ford that I have discontinued? I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys have smelled it, or maybe one of you has the bottle, or maybe you, Rich Mitch. It's the Moss Breches, or however you pronounce it. That one.
I haven't. I do know that Rise. Do you know Rise Frags?
Yes.
Rise Frags has got a bottle of that, and it is supposed to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
you know what it smells like? It smells like Pavarotti.
Oh, does it?
I love Pavarotti. I'll buy it.
Are you, Paulo, are you familiar with Pavarotti?
No, I'm not, but I just heard about it through Ramsey's channel.
Okay, so what are you wearing today?
Oh my gosh, what am I wearing today? Maidan, Spirit of Dubai. I'm sorry, Ramsey. I know you don't like it.
I just expected more.
No, well, see, the thing is, Ramsey, once you come here to Dubai and you get to experience the real, the Arabic world of perfumes, oh my God. I've been telling Eugene about them, the locals here. When they walk past you, oh my God, they smell amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can share a bit. I can share a little of information why they smell amazing. Okay, so now for those who are watching right now, yeah. So this is basically what they do. First, they fumigate their clothes. So for the guys, they wear the white clothes, which is called kandura, right? And for the ladies, they wear the black dress, which is an abaya. What they do first is they actually fumigate, or they burn the bakur or the incense, and they put it under their clothes, right? To fumigate the clothes. That's number one. And then when they wear that abaya or kandura, they would spray perfume all over their clothes as well, right? And the last one that they would put is they would put pure oils or attars here and on the wrist and everything. That's why they smell amazing. So that's the secret of the locals here.
Jesus.
And that's really funny because we complain about wearing oud in the summertime here. And over there, it's hot all the time, isn't it? And they wear those thick, heavy ouds. Right,
but to be honest, though, of course, when it comes to summer, some of them they still do wear oud, but the lighter ones. But when winter comes to Dubai, oh my God, that's really where the heavy heaters come in. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's good to see that you're able to appreciate all aspects of perfume. I know you wear a lot of vintage. You wear classic men's, classic women's, ouds, everything. Everything. Except, wait, I'm sorry. Except, I'm not a fan of, or I'm not going to say I'm not a fan, but my least favorite categories
will be the citruses and the aquatics, the blue scents. Now,
I find that's almost true for most perfume enthusiasts, like hardcore enthusiasts. They stay away from those freshies.
That's true.
That's probably because they're like the least interesting category.
Yeah, it's boring. It's too simple. No, not complex at all. Not even Neo. Sorry for the Neo and the Uden lovers out there. No, I don't like it.
That's okay.
Zerjoff is crap.
Yeah, Zerjoff is shite. Yeah, they have no friends here.
Ramsey, what are you wearing?
I am wearing a shaker bottle Bellamy today. My favorite fragrance.
The shaker.
Yes.
Very nice.
That's the one.
I don't know if you guys know Dushan. He subscribes, I think, to all of our channels, probably.
Dushan Minich, of course I know Dushan.
He wrote me a comment today and said, Ramsey, I just got the vintage shaker bottle Bellamy in the mail today, and it's absolutely stunning. And I said, that's funny because it's my scent of the day. We're connected by scent today, brother.
Outrageous.
Yeah. But I love this stuff. I mean, I was going to test a new fragrance. I was going to test Sundowner, which I haven't smelled yet. Rachel sent it to me, I think, or one of the people sent it to me. But when I woke up this morning and I looked at my collection, this just called out to me, and I just couldn't say no. It grabbed me.
There you go. I've never smelt that shaker, but I have the second generation, the tall, thin bottle, and it's gorgeous. I even appreciate the modern day Bellamy. I can wear that. It's just like a softer version, which is for my style.
I have the same one that you have, Eugene. I think it's the square bottle, right? The square one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I sold it. Wrong move. Oh my God, no. Yeah.
To me, it smells like Indian cooking spices, like the top. It's so damn spicy.
Yeah, it is very spicy.
It does. Do you guys get a little some vibe of like curry vibe going on with the Bellamy?
I do with the new one, yes, definitely.
Right? Yeah, masala, like
masala necessarily spice. Curry, but yeah, Indian food comes to mind when I wear it.
Yep.
It's so damn good. I think it's one of Antoine Lee's favorite perfumes as well.
I think it is too.
He's talked about it.
Have you smelled this? Sorry.
What is it?
Go ahead. What do you have?
We're waiting, Ramsey.
Je suis un homme. This is an Antoine Lee creation.
Similar as well, yeah? It's more citrusy though.
It's more citrusy, but this is heavily inspired by Bellamy, Eugene. Yep. You should smell this.
I've not smelled that.
It's an Antoine Lee. It's actually my favorite Antoine Lee, outside of your beautiful creation, of course. But
really,
yes,
yeah, it's a good one.
Damn, dude, we got another very special guest here. I am blessed today with all these beautiful friends. A friend of everybody, a friend of the channel, a friend of all the streams. Everybody, welcome Anuj from Enchanté. What is happening?
Hello, Anuj.
Repping that quatrefoil.
Yes, buddy. How does the shirt fit?
It's great. It's fantastic. I really don't want to wear. I had to bring this I brought a spare T-shirt because I don't want to dirty this right in the warehouse. But I was like, you sent me the link, so I was like, okay, now I can put it on, right? So.
Well, thanks for joining us. I know you're probably very busy, but it's always great to have you here.
No, it's so cool. On weekends here, like I said before, it's so peaceful and quiet here the whole day. So this is good to have a nice break.
Nice. Always a pleasure.
Everyone good?
Yeah. What's new with you?
The only new thing for me is, I know this is probably stupid for everyone else, but I'm progressing with technology. I finally bought a labeler, and I actually know how to use it. So I've been having a lot of fun with this yesterday and today.
There you go.
Nice.
Enjoy that, man. Enjoy that.
I love it.
So, sorry, Paula, you were going to say something before I rudely cut you off.
No. So basically with Anuj, the only reason why one of the reasons how I got to find out about him was obviously through Ramsey's channel. and also I was able to watch your. I think it was the first time that you actually visited his showroom, or not his showroom, sorry, his warehouse. Oh my God, those boxes and boxes of Guerlain perfumes in the gold packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the Mitsuko. We were going through the Guerlain.
Yes, exactly.
Different boxes of Mitsuko.
Yeah, but Anuj, was it just Mitsuko? Because L'air Blue and what's the other one? No, L'air Blue. All of them, all of them came in that gold box.
Yeah, when they streamlined to that gold packaging, they were all Chamad, Voldenouille, very briefly. A whole bunch of them had that gold, that straight pure gold packaging.
Yeah, but isn't it, guys? Eugene, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone, if anybody knows about it. In 2013, Thierry Vasseur, he actually reformulated Mitsuko, and he tried to recreate it as close as possible to the original Mitsuko.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors swirling around that there's certain batches in the mid 2010s that are really good, and I think I have one of those bottles because my Mitsuko is amazing. You know,
Yeah.
for something that's modern day, I love it.
I heard that Thierry Vasseur used celery seed to recreate the oak moss.
Interesting, yeah.
What was the ingredient?
Celery seed.
Celery seed.
Interesting.
Very possible. I know with the oak moss and Derby, like it's restricted, and he used like a blend of carnation and lemon to kind of amp up that oak moss.
Yes. He used carnation and lemon, and in Coriolan he used Immortelle in the base. So he's done a bunch of things, I think, to try to recreate that oak moss.
Yeah.
It's such a shame they got rid of oak moss. I love oak moss.
The oak moss we know is dead.
That's right.
Not for you guys. You guys are packed for life. You guys shouldn't worry.
Yes.
And all the new people coming in, they'll never realize what oak moss is, so they're not knowing of what they're missing out on. They'll never know. You guys have captured the market on that oak moss.
Just jump in here all of a sudden out of nowhere with a tennis racket.
Sorry?
All we need now is Al Manzano to jump in here with a tennis racket.
Yeah, there you go. Shout outs to Al Manzano. Shout outs to Gaming Chairs.
I think he's in.
I think
he's in Vegas again right now. Yeah, he is.
It's good to be retired.
Yeah. He did another quick trip. I don't know if he had I don't know if he was playing tennis. I don't know. They went to watch a tournament. That's what he said.
Teddy Wasser did a decent reformulation of Samsara, Pradeep says. I know a lot of people are complaining about modern.
Modern Samsara is not great in my opinion.
Is Anuj okay with the banner on the bottom of my screen? I imagine he is. Anuj, are you okay with that?
I'm fine the way I don't.
I should have asked for your permission, but selfishly,
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, that's the place where you can find Anuj.
I'll take it. It's fine.
There you go.
How's the unpacking going?
Dude, it took me all night. Yesterday, I spent probably anywhere from 12 to 15 hours unboxing perfumes.
And everything is not still stuck in the garage, all of it?
Yeah, everything's inside. I've got perfume number 2 and 3 in the basement, and perfume 1 is right here in front of me, all laid out on the table. It's underneath I draped a cloth on top. That way it doesn't get any sun or dust on. I don't want to wipe bottles before I send them out. So
that is cool.
Yeah, everything's here. Everything's good.
I was wondering, I don't know if I guess you probably going to be using number 1 for now and then deal with 2 and 3 later, or are you going to launch all 3 together, or what's going on?
No, I'm going to launch just 1. Okay. Sorry, Paulo, I muted your mic just because I'm getting some feedback.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, that's better. I'm just going to launch the first one right now.
Cool.
And the more I think about this, the more I think this is what I'm going to do. I want to launch the second one without releasing any notes. as a
and let your we call that patrons, let your followers decipher whatever notes they want to decipher, right?
Let them figure it out for themselves what it is. And you know, there's many reasons for that.
I think it's kind of cool. Ramsey was talking about a brand that does that, right? On one of your streams.
Nasomato.
Right. Nasomato does that.
Any official note? I think that's kind of cool, man. I think it's kind of
maybe I'll give out the story and the inspiration, but I really want to hold those notes. And I know releasing notes is great for marketing and sales, but this to me is going to be art before sales and making money. You know, I want to produce stuff that is meaningful and that connects with people.
This could be like a challenge, because you know what? When I listen to all these streams, there are people like Ramsey, Rich, you guys like Rudy. You guys have no business business. Put it up as a challenge. Let's see how good you guys are at analyzing shit, smelling it, and see how close you can get.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's tough.
I know, but you know.
That's tough. Now, there is something I will say though. When I was talking with Russian Adam, and we were smelling all those ingredients, we were smelling some of the roses, and he was saying, "Hey, do you get some fruity aspects here? Do you get some, you know, floral aspects of this food?" And it was like as soon as he said it, it like popped in my mind. You know what I mean? Like I didn't smell it until he said it.
The power of hear something when you hear a word. Sometimes it just connects into your head, right?
Exactly. So without any guidelines at all, it might, you know, you might have people going in all directions, Eugene. You know what I mean?
And I'm okay with that. You know, what you smell and what that is your interpretation of the perfume. I don't want to tell you what it is. I want you to figure it out for even if you're like completely wrong. I don't care, right? Because I see so many influencers and it's fucking boring to listen to some guy go off for 10 minutes listing notes he's read from Fragrantica and he likes it because everybody likes everything. It's boring. There's very little people that can actually express themselves and figure out what they smell in the perfume. And that to me is more exciting than just, I can go on Fragrantica and get the notes in 20 seconds. Why do I got to sit here for 10 minutes and have some person just read them out to me? There's nothing interesting in there.
I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, since you're just starting anyway, Eugene, so might as well try every ways of marketing it, right? I mean, you'll never know, maybe it will work for you.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think it's cool. That's awesome.
I don't know. It's just an idea. And it started as this little seed, and more time goes by. I keep watering the seed, and it's something that is the feeling is getting stronger and stronger for me. That's what I want to do. There's only 5 people in the whole world that know the entire note listing. One of them is here on stream. The other is in the chat. One is the perfumer, and one is the person that created the perfumes, right? Nobody else really knows what is in there. So,
but isn't the cool part of this is that it doesn't matter because this is your shit. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Right. I have nobody to answer to.
Like that's awesome.
Yeah. Just an idea.
What will end up happening is they will stick your perfume under a GCMS machine. I mean, the notes will come out eventually, but until then, it can be like a blind challenge. You know, that's how they get those Nasomato notes, is they GCMS machine it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And maybe I can, you know, maybe I can put out a challenge and afterwards release the notes myself.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
And whoever gets the most number of notes will get a free bottle, right?
Sure. If that's what you guys want, we can do a challenge. We can, if somebody gets, I'll send out samples to any fragrance reviewer that wants to take a challenge upon themselves, and we can do something. I have no problem with that.
Idea, man. It's something that like you're giving birth to like a really cool, fantastic, unique idea right now. Here, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It makes a lot of sense. I haven't seen anything like this before.
I haven't seen anything like that. No.
I know Ramsey would be up to the challenge.
I would be.
If I get one note right, I'll be happy.
You know what, Ramsey? It's not even about getting anything right. It's like somebody's willing to take the challenge and put themselves out there, and they could be I respect that. I would totally respect that.
And I don't think it's a case of where just because even if you guessed every single note wrong, it doesn't mean that person, you could say your nose is no good if you don't know anything about note. It's got nothing to do with that, right? I don't think you could say that.
Yeah. But yeah.
How amazing is that? Somebody did not get the memo, or we all got the memo? We're all wearing black shirt. That's crazy.
That's kind of my uniform, is the black shirt. It's just easier than, ironing a dress shirt or.
So the guys who are watching right now, this is totally unscripted. Yeah, I mean, I just randomly received a link from Eugene, and here we are.
That's it.
It was a totally unplanned stream. Al was in the house. What's up, Al?
There you
Good
go.
to see you.
Al. Big Al. There you go. The man.
Oh shit.
Rich, how are you feeling?
I'm all right. My back's a little bit sore, but apart from that, I'm okay. How are you?
Didn't you have was it last week or was it coming up where you said you had to change the dosage of your medicine or something?
Yeah, I'm up on the top dosage now, so I feel okay. I'm getting used to it. So I'm better. I'm better than I was, and I will continue to get better until it's just normal. You know what I mean? So do not worry, I will be fine. So thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh.
I'm peachy.
Margie's saying, Ramsey, your review of La Doulette Exquise was fantastic. Very spot on for me. And I heard the perfume La Doulette Exquise made Margie emotional yesterday. And I've heard that from several people now. I've been getting some messages saying, it's made me emotional too. And I don't know if that's just, my story, people connecting. I hope it's more the perfume that does it than my story. But it's I'm getting really good feedback, and I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, and so you should.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the whole point.
Yeah, you've got a great fragrance, Eugene. I mean, I wanted a bottle of Lyric Woman, which is supposed to be like this deep, dark, sensual rose, and I wore it yesterday, and it just didn't hold water after wearing La Doulette Exquise. I mean, I just enjoyed that so much more. There's more animalics. I love the animalics in there. Very few modern fragrances can do good at animalic notes. And it's just done. I mean, Antoine Lee knocked it out of the park. He must have hit the brief square out of the park. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
got a winner.
He took a lot of it upon himself. Like a lot of those ideas were his. I gave him I gave him my feelings and like my context of what the perfume should be, and he got it, but it was, a lot of it was his vision as well. And I was talking to him the other day, and he asked me, like, Eugene, of the three, which is your favorite? And I was like, oh God, it's such a difficult question because I really do love all three. And La Doulette is the one I'm most familiar with because it's the one I've worn the most. So I said La Doulette is my favorite. And I said, what is yours? And he said, perfume number 2. And I was like, okay. Because I think that is the least challenging. Let's call it. I don't even think any of them are really challenging. And then he said, it's really funny because you like the first one. I like the second one. And Remy, his favorite is the third one. So everybody's got like different favorites. Which is good because there's a variety there.
He must be very proud of the product now that you got it and everything. Like now that you're this close to, going live. He must be also extremely.
Yeah, he's excited. We're planning to do a live stream right after the launch. He says he's been watching like some of the feedback. He's seen some of the YouTube reviews and he's enjoyed that. So, yeah.
Nice. The concept is fantastic. My angle from this comes, as you guys know, from the other aspect, the non-notes, perfume. As much as I love the fragrance, honestly, but the concept for me is what touches me, because you're just a one-man show. You're just doing this shit yourself. You've done this by putting your heart on your sleeve, opening yourself up like a complete fucking open book, and it brings me back to my childhood of watching my dad make business deals with a handshake before there were Excel files, fucking emails, and all this kind of nonsense where your word was your bond. And my proclivity has always been my love, and my loyalty has always been to these smaller companies. I mean, that's why Jacques Besson is one of my mentors. His company is his own small independent company, a guy who, that man, like you, he's a one-man operation. He was back in his day. His staff in his own warehouse while he was doing paperwork and helped fill the bottles of beer. And it just kind of reminds me of your struggle and what you're doing. And it just right back, throwback. My childhood memory is what.
Yeah. It's great. It's great being vulnerable, and I'm hoping that what I'm doing and what I've been through will inspire other people in this circle to do the same. Like, I'd love to see Ramsey start his own line. I'd love to see Rich Mitch, one day create. Even though he says right now he's got no interest, but who knows? In a year or two, he could change his mind and say, "Yeah, why not?"
Yeah. Somebody else would like to send in the kind of money you put into it for us. I will happily spend someone else's money doing it. But no, like, I'm not sure how I would like get around to doing it. I've tried like something somebody's making as a perfume for myself at the minute, which is quite interesting. But I don't know if I'd be any good at it.
I think you would be great at it. I think you have a wonderful nose. I think you're very selective. You know what you like, which is important. And I know how you would only create something that you are aligned with. You would never create something that you're not attached to. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I think the way you've gone about it, the best way to go about it, like how you put like your own money in and then gone a perfumer and done all of that kind of thing, rather than like basically the way people are releasing them through Navitus or releasing them through like making their own, unless they've spent a long time training to be a perfumer, Peter's more the exception than the rule in the fact that he can like blend. A lot of people who take it upon themselves to learn how to blend can't. And there's a lot of brands out there who have perfumers who can't actually do it. You know,
but big shout outs to Peter. That's a big risk for him to take it upon himself and to learn the craft. And it takes a lot of belief in self to do something like that and invest time, finances, effort. So shout outs to Pete, the Fragrance View. I respect that. It's I don't think I would ever have the guts to go that route.
No.
What about you, Ramsey? You ever think about doing something like this?
In maybe like a pipe dream fashion, but I just feel like it's way, way in the future. I mean, heck, you've been doing this for what, a decade?
Oh, not quite, but we're getting there. There'll be a time where very soon it'll be a decade. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Christmas of this year will basically be 1 year for me. Wow. So I feel like I still have a long way to go. A lot of stuff to talk about, and Maybe once there's an extra 0 or 2 on my subscriber count, but until then, I think I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I wish I had more time. I mean, in between doing stuff like this with the CFP and studying and work and all that, it's just a lot of time. You know what I mean? So I wish I had more time to focus on it. But once I'm done with this and some, life clears up a little bit, then who knows?
Well, for somebody that doesn't have a lot of time, you're sure creating a lot of content. Like, you're probably creating more content than a lot of other people. Like, you're up there.
Because I'm regimented.
Yeah.
I have a routine and I stick with it.
It's not the amount of videos, it's the actual quality. Like, the length of your videos is long.
And also the information.
The substance is there. It's
the
not
things that you say, Ramsey.
Thank you.
The information.
Thanks, guys. The substance is there. It's just full. It's packed full of information.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Appreciate that.
Oh, we got a super chat here, Antonio Hobson, $9.99. Congratulations, Eugene. Thank you so much. Can't wait to get my backup bottle. Thank you, chat, for the education. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support and believing, and I appreciate everybody.
Ramsey, you should consider taking all the information from all your videos down the line and making your own blog or your own, like Raider style with your information.
Like put it behind a paywall, like Luca Turin?
Yeah, absolutely. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, I don't think I'm Luca Turin yet, but maybe.
You're not trying to be Luca Turin. You're Ramsey. There's only one Ramsey, and one day somebody's going to be like looking at you and admiring you, and you're inspiring somebody else the same way Luca's inspired other people. Absolutely. People are going to be saying, I want to be like that Ramsey guy. I never aspire to be like anybody else. I can't. I can only be myself.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm just happy I got monetized,
Well, yeah, you deserve to get rewarded for your effort.
Even though Google put the first payment in my account the other day, and it was kind of funny because it's not even enough to pay for like one of these vintage bottles, but I'm still just happy. I was so happy to see it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, it'll fill up a tank of gas. It doesn't have to be.
That's it.
Use it for something else. It doesn't. It's like moving pieces on a chessboard, right? Like if you're getting just little bits and pieces, you're getting it's helping towards the work that you put into that. Even if it's something else, then that payment is used for that. It's just like a trickle down effect, right? It doesn't have to be all this one gigantic lump, shit. It's just got to come in, slow and steady.
Yep, that's it. But it was a hassle because they wouldn't take. I couldn't get my bank information in. It was just this whole thing. Like, they gave me this big runaround to just actually see even a little bit hit. I was like, all right, moving in the right direction.
There you go. Hopefully we can get Rich monetized soon.
That's it.
Oh God, it was just so technical. I was just like, oh God, I hate the internet so much. Like computers are just like the bane of my life. So if it's going to be that hard to do, I just think it's not worth it for the money that's coming in.
Are there options? Or like that coffee thing or whatever? Like, can you add that? Is that something that you can just add as simple on the side or no?
I think coffee take loads of the money though, don't they?
Oh, okay.
I think coffee. Sorry, hello.
Yeah, just show your face in your videos. Your subscribers will skyrocket.
I think people do. People do want to see it. People do want to see it, but it adds to the mystique. It adds to the mystique. One of my friends watched the video where I revealed my face on the first live stream I came on, and she was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." She was like, "You should have built it up for years." And I was like, "Oh, I never thought of that. I quite like the idea of that." But then I was like, "Oh, it's too late now." But I don't know. I'm thinking about getting a laptop and trying to learn how to do videos properly and stuff like that, but it's not going to be soon. So I'm happy to just carry on. I think people really just want to hear about the fragrances and then like see the bottles as well. You know, people like a little bit of bottle porn. That's why the Instagram community is quite big. People just like looking at the bottles and then hearing like information about the fragrances. You know, YouTube is a different dynamic in a way because people see more of like the content creators as like moving entities, you know, like videos are different to pictures and stuff, but I quite like the old Greggy Boy format.
Yeah, but
Max user as well.
Your face, if people are able to see your face, you connect more with your viewers, right? So it adds value to your videos and to what you're saying as well, you know?
No, I understand what you're saying. I do agree with you. There is definitely that element. I think some people can get quite frustrated that they don't like see your face. But I like the idea of doing like a podcast. Like Eugene will tell you, like I've been trying to get Eugene and Thomas and Galen to do a podcast with me, like for well over a year. And then Houdini and Ben and Dave, I think the bloke's called David. They did a podcast as well. How I consume my YouTube content really is I put the YouTube video on, basically just let it sit there, don't actually watch the video, and then just like listen to it. And if something gets said and like I need to look at it, then I'll look at it. Well, if I don't, I'll just like put it on in the background while I'm doing something else. You know, I find it quite hard to like sit and watch like a video of any kind anyway, for any like sort of particularly long length of time.
I consume my videos very much the same way. Like I'll have them running or playing in the back while I'm doing stuff around here. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll come back and get into the chat for a bit, but then I'll continue to do what I was doing. Let me read some super chats here. Shiva Varane, $9.99. Thank you so much. I can't wait to smell the exquisite pain Canuck. Congratulations. Thank you, Shiva. I appreciate that. Something else here. Margie's leaving. Margie, good to see you. Margie's got to run. We'll see you soon. Al Manzano, $6 super chat. Thank you, Al. Your sample has become a favorite to smell on my wife. Thanks, Eugene. I appreciate that, Al. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to your wife for wearing my fragrance. It means a lot. What else do we have here? Pradeep says maybe start a Patreon club and only the supporters can see your face.
Charge people to see my face.
Prof Melvin saying, I'd love a podcast. Well, you know what, Rich? If you decide to do a podcast, I'd be happy to jump on anytime I'm invited.
Nice.
So if that's something that you want to do, I'd love to help out. I'd love to be part of that.
Nice.
As often as I can.
Indeed. I would do that, just talking about perfume for a while. I like the Les Audrins one. I must admit, I do like it. It's perfect for what I want, whereas I can just put it on and then just like move around and do stuff, and I don't need there's no requirement to look at the screen or anything like that. My streams are like that because I don't show any like faces or anything, unless I've got guests on. Or I need to show something, you know, like say if we're talking about a bottle and someone's like, oh, what bottle is that? And then I can like show it, you know. But really, like I just have like a little bit of bottle porn and talk about the fragrances and say outrageous a lot.
I've just muted Anuj and I think Ramsey because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. If you guys want to speak or say something, just unmute yourselves. But I want to say, like, there's been some debate recently in the last couple of weeks about reviewing from bottles or decants. Do you guys have any opinion on that? I am of the opinion that I love to show bottles because I think it's part of the perfume. It's presentation is a big part of the fragrance. And when I review something, most of the time I'd like to have a bottle, whether I love the perfume or not. Does it make the review more real? I'm not sure. I mean, not necessarily, but it's nice to show.
Well, first of all, for example, for review, of course, it's nice to show the bottles. But I tell you what, to be honest, when it comes to decants, most of you for sure have experienced this. For example, you have a 5 ml or a 10 ml decant, and you don't use the perfume for quite a while, and then you, a few days or a few weeks later, you try to use it. You know, no matter what happens, no matter what you do, it's going to evaporate, right? So sometimes when you look at the perfume, the liquid inside becomes thicker because obviously the alcohol has already evaporated. So I'm not really a fan of decants. I don't have decants at all. The only time I would use a decant is usually like a 2 ml or 3 ml glass atomizer, and only if I'm going out or going to a bar or clubbing. That's the only time I would if I want to respray or reapply my fragrances. But generally, I'm not a fan of decants or atomizers because the liquid, the juice inside will really deteriorate.
Right. How about, so for reviewing purposes, do you like to see full bottles or show full bottles opposed to decants?
For reviewing, I think it's not really necessary because when you're reviewing, you are you're talking about the main theme of your video, which is the perfume, not the bottle, right?
Yeah. What about you, Ramsey? What are your thoughts on that?
So, I mean, on the other side of the equation, though, if you've got a decant, right, and you are doing a review off of a decant, no one can say that, you know, you're saying something good about it because a brand gave you a free bottle. You know what I mean? And you can't own everything. It's impossible to own every single bottle. So if you have something you want to talk about and, you know, you're just going to give your opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it off of a decant. It's one of the only cost-effective ways to, you know, have a perfume and talk about it. I mean, unless you're just loaded with money, you can't own every single bottle. I mean, it would be great everyone wants to see a bottle, but I'm not of the opinion you have to have a bottle to give an honest or to give a breakdown. You don't need to wear 50 or 100 mils of a fragrance to break it down. 2, 3, 4, 5 mils, more than enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Rich, what about you?
In an ideal world, you would have a bottle, but it's not necessary. I don't think it's necessarily necessary. I think to have extensive experience with a perfume to review it. The people who review perfumes on the day they come out, they're not reviews, they're infomercials. They are literally trying to sell you something. If somebody has to have extensive experience to review something, first impressions are a different matter. First impressions are where you give your first impression, or first impressions if you've only worn it or had it for a little while, and you give them. First impressions are probably more geared towards having a decant. Like I said, I don't necessarily think it's necessary. If you've got a 10 ml decant, right, and you've worn 5 ml of it, or you've worn all 10 ml of it, right, then you've every right to give a review because you've worn it extensively, haven't you? But I suppose in an ideal world, you would have a full bottle. But it's not necessary.
It's not necessary. I think viewers appreciate or prefer to see a full bottle as part of the presentation.
No, I would agree that, yeah, in an ideal world you would have a full bottle. But
what do you think about the color of the liquid? Do you find that oftentimes has to play with the actual scent of the fragrance itself, or the color of the packaging, let's say?
I think it's got to be coherent.
What I've noticed though, when it comes to like darker juices of fragrances, these are usually like the heavy ones, or the these are usually like the amber based fragrances, or the woody ones, or the fruity ones, and usually the stronger ones as well, right? I mean, I don't know if you guys share the same thoughts on that.
Ramsey?
I mean, I love dark juice. Like this is here. I'll show you. Oh, there is a. So this is black Afghano. Look at the color of that juice. Like I love dark juice like this. Even if it's food coloring, I don't care. You know, it sets up like an expectation. You know what I mean? Like you're expecting to get something dark here, and so I do like the darker juices, even if it's not super black. If it's, you know, real ambery, like juice fetish. So if you look at the color of that juice, like you know, you kind of get an idea, right?
Yeah.
I do like that. Although the brands that have clear juice because they don't use additives or whatever, it doesn't bother me. You know, if it's clear, it's not like you're gonna dock points for the color of the juice or something. You know what I mean?
Mm. Do you find that they're using more colors today than they did in vintage perfumes?
Ooh, that's tough because I think a lot of vintage perfumes weren't necessary. So this is one I actually just talked about today. This is Versailles Pour Homme, and it came out in 1980. And it's pretty, I mean, you know, you can kind of see it's yellow, but it's not super ambery either. But a lot of the old fragrances, they got these bottles where you can't, some of the bottles you're not going to be able to see through. Like the Balenciaga bottle, you can't really see the juice unless you hold it up to the light. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you think, Rich?
I think back in the day, I think that perfumes weren't as colored as they are now, unless it was something that was like made to be outrageously colored, you know. I think that more perfumes started getting colored. It started coming in with like the Serge Lutens. You know, the Serge Lutens were always had like massive amounts of colorants in them and stuff like that. And that was in like the 80s. No, that was the 90s, I beg your pardon. All of those Serge Lutens are colored, like I've got like huge amounts of, well, not huge amounts of colorant in them, but they're colored very purposefully. I also think that perfumes that are in clear bottles, that's the only like time that you'll find perfumes colored, because otherwise it's pointless because the glass is colored, you know. So I think perfumes were had less colorants in them back in the day, just because I think that wasn't part of like the aesthetic. But I think perfumes were made to smell more natural back in the day and less synthetic. And like I don't mean use less synthetics. I mean like smell less synthetic. So I think the whole synthetics sort of like the synthetic aesthetic, if you like, came like to the fore like in the early 90s. So I think by that, I think that more modern perfumes have got more colorants in them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think modern perfumes are much more coloring than vintage. But before we go on to the next topic, our friend Paulo's he's just notified me saying he's got to run. So I want to thank Paulo for coming on. It's been a pleasure. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet
Cheers,
you,
Paulo. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Paulo.
I'll catch you in the next one, Eugene. Ramsey, I'm waiting for yours.
For sure, buddy. Good to see you. Don't be
a
stranger.
with you.
We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
And then there was 4. Anuj, what are your thoughts on coloring? Do you remember vintage perfume using colorants inside of their bottles?
I've talked about this before, that just in my personal opinion, when we talk about a lot of very, very old vintage fragrances, everything was an overall concept all pulled together. Not just, you know, the name of a fragrance, but the bottle, the packaging, the design, the inspiration behind it, and then of course, you know, obviously the actual fragrance. But I don't believe for a lot of older classics that the color of the juice was intended to be anything a part of that package. If a fragrance, an older a version of Shalimar back, from 40, 50 years ago happened to be produced with a darker liquid. It just happened to be as such. I don't think it was something that was, oh, let's make it darker. I think that, again, all what you guys have said, I'm saying the same thing. It's something more in modern, like, but still goes back ways, like the old original Acqua di Gio for women. When it came out, the packaging was like a teal kind of turquoise blue, and they made the liquid purposely the same to match the packaging for it. So that was its gimmick. Angel for women, right? That blue, that dull, crisp blue was a part of the concept of the fragrance, right? And then earlier when you guys were talking about like for reviews and bottles, I think it's a really wide open conversation, because if you're talking about reviewers and strictly for people who are like deep into fragrances, like if Eugene, you're doing a fragrance review and Rich and Ramsey are listening to it, then I don't necessarily think the bottle is a be all and end all, because they'll be more interested in just listening to what you have to say. So you having a decant and you using it, I don't think would affect it. I mean, Paulo made a great point about the deterioration of these plastic atomizers, but let's say I sent you a sample of something and said, hey, Eugene, do a review of this. And let's say you got it and you used it and did a review within 3 days. It's fine. No degradation to it, right? Because I just sprayed it out. I sent it to you. You did it quickly. It was done with, quickness. And then you did, I don't think like Rich or Ramsey would be like, well, I don't know, I want to see the bottle. But if you did a stream and it was just for the casual fragrance fan, they want to see the bottle, because those who are not really, really passionately into notes and don't have like such a deep understanding for it, a lot of the time we talked before about the power of suggestion. When they see a dark liquid, the casual fan just thinks this is strong. You can relate this to booze. You go into the LCBO or liquor store, people always have this proclivity that, whiskey and rum, those are going to fuck you up because they're dark liquids, and, vodka and gin, they're light in color. So, they're lighter and airier and better for you and this kind of thing. Like I show you something, right? This is the old original Guess for Women from 1981. This just so happens that it was a strong as shit fragrance. But let's just say this was a very light fragrance. It
looks like wine inside there.
Look at the juice. And if you didn't have a deep understanding about fragrance, you would look at this as a casual layman and just think that's got to be strong as fuck, right? Just based on the coloring. Right? So
totally, yeah. That's
just my 2 cents for it. But
would you look at this and think it's light as fuck because it's blue?
Like I said, if I didn't know any better, that's what I would think. I would think that it's a complete light, freshy, that's what I would think. You think swimming.
I have no idea what that smells like, but looking at it, I would base my perception that it's a light, fresh, aquatic, salty perfume. And I'd be totally wrong, wouldn't I?
It kind of is a freshie actually, but there's some weird stuff going on in here. There's like olive note. It almost smells like the Mediterranean. There's like olive. There's some kind of weird. There's some sort of weird tree bark in here, if memory serves. It's a very artistic fragrance for a designer. Back when Trussardi used to make good stuff.
But Ramsey, you and Rich both made a great point about the fact that, for a lot of older, you pulled out that bottle of Jazz. You can't see the liquid, right? So a lot of those, you and Rich said the same thing. If you had a tinted bottle, or if it was on a plastic casing, if you opened it up before maybe it got discolored, you'd probably find that it was just like a very clear or a much lighter juice. And, like, again, the average person would just be shocked and be like, oh, it's such a strong fragrance. Why is it so light in color? Right?
Yeah, and I think the modern colorants with, like you said, to match the box, to match the marketing, that's like modern focus day stuff. Even Jean-Paul Guerlain, right before he got kicked out of being the in-house perfumer of Guerlain, was proud of the fact they didn't use focus groups, and that was in the 2000s. So, a lot of those decisions from real old school 70s, 80s, and before, they weren't going off of focus group marketing. You know what I mean? And so, because of that, there was no let's make the juice purple like Sung Om, or let's make it pink like Yo.
Exactly. Let me see that bottle of Versailles again, please. I need to see that. It's so cool. I'm so happy you got that.
This is Versailles. I found it from Italy. Here's the box.
Beautiful. Let me see. Yeah. Oh man, I
So
love.
you can see the box matches the bottle with the lines.
Good job. I'm so happy for you. Good job, Matt. Good job, buddy.
I had to hunt it down. But yes, it's I mean it's good. I got it on a blotter here, and it's like there's a little bit of Paco Rabanne Porom in it, but I think there's some pine and leather, and I like it. I think it'll be good. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it soon.
My dad loved that shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any favorite bottle designs, like historically? What are some of your favorite perfume bottles?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Or what are some that maybe they're not your favorite, but they stand out?
M7.
M7? Why is that, Rich?
Here's M7.
I just think the vintage M7, right, is it's vintage, right, without being old and out of fashion. It's like that sort of Tom Ford sort of 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future kind of like thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think the color saves it because it's like that burgundy red. So it's got that kind of. Got to remember, it was released in 2002. It's got that kind of that sort of like masculine sort of classiness, but it's also very simple, you know. And I like the fact that the sprayer is off center. I really like the fact that the sprayer is off center. It doesn't hurt the fact that I absolutely love M7. It's one of my favorite fragrances.
Sorry, Rich. Do you know the reason for the center or the sprayer being in that position? Is that like a?
I think it's so that it's easier to spray.
Ah, just by the location of the finger.
Yeah. If the sprayer on that was in the center, it would be like harder to spray.
Well, it's easier if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it's harder.
Yes. Yes. You could take the cap off and turn it round, though, and then it would be easier.
That's a good point. But then,
a mirror opposite.
I'm a big fan of the old vintage 4711 bottles. There's just something about it just fantastic. And just the classic Chanel eau de perfume bottle. I find it's beautiful. The Shalimar with the round ridges.
Ooh, yes.
Just like something. It's just you look at it, it just looks like a piece of art. But then then you get into the more gimmicky, like the Jean Paul Gaultier with the bust, right? I mean, it does stand out, but
okay. So I'm gonna agree with you. It is gimmicky, but it's a classic.
Of course, it's
right.
But they stole that from Schiaparelli, or she had a bottle from way back when that was a bust.
Yeah.
So even Jean-Paul Gaultier's, outline is not original.
Right, he borrowed.
Yeah, I would say I like the chorus.
Isn't the new Kim Kardashian perfume, like she's got a bust as well, very similar to the Jean-Paul Gaultier style?
So does Nicki Minaj.
They all do.
Yeah. But I think that's a great bottle. It's very artistic. It's creative. The colors, the sailor stripes kind of represent the perfume inside, the freshness.
Once they started doing the flankers, and then like it was like basically like the movie Gremlins, where you spill water on it and they fucking multiply or whatever. Once there's too many of them, it just kind of bastardizes it. It loses a little bit of the luster.
Yeah.
I think anyways, like if Shalimar started doing all these 50 flankers with that classic bottle, it wouldn't be that cool anymore. To me,
I think Guerlain they used to put a lot of effort and time into their vintage classic bottles. Not so much anymore. Now everything's mainstreamed and streamlined. But if you look at like the vintage Vol de Nuit with the propeller top, it's outrageous. It's out of this world. Like, it's so gorgeous, and it's inspired by night flight, like flying at nighttime. So the front face of the bottle is actually like a propeller spinning, right? The Shelley
said about these older brands, at least at that time, where each fragrance looked different, right?
Yeah.
You know, you didn't just have a signature that, okay, identify, that's got to be a Guerlain. That was not a thing back in the day.
But through marketing, they figured that they would sell more bottles if everything was, you know, more cohesive.
Yes.
And like you say, the Shelley Mar bottle, the fountain bottle, it's there's nothing like it.
It's unique.
Even the Mitsuko and Lure Blue, like the cap, you know, it's an upside down heart.
Shamad's the upside down heart bottle too.
Shamad, the entire bottle is shaped like a
beautiful
heart with the ripples on it. Like,
yeah, that's a beautiful bottle.
Like the heart going through a shock, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely stunning. And the lid is almost like a dagger going through the heart. The cap?
Yeah. That's got to be one of the best bottles. But I like the white Koros and the black Antaeus, like Angel and Devil. You know, the contrast just in color. Something as simple as color, you know, can signify. Like, imagine if Antaeus was in a white bottle and Koros was in a black bottle.
Yeah, there you go. Holy.
This is a beautiful bottle. This is an old school Venezia by Loda Biagiotti. Like, look at this bottle. Fucking fantastic.
That's badass.
Beautiful. A little rivet in the bottom. And the actual product was designed exactly like this as well.
Bonkers.
Like, that's...
Man, you know, that looks like a jester.
Yeah,
it looks like a jester. You know, like with the pointy hat.
Absolutely. You don't see stuff like that today. Rachel's saying MDCI bottle. I like the MDCI bottle. Nice, clean, fits in the hand very good. It reminds me of a scroll, like ancient scrolls.
Rich, what was one time on one of your streams you talked about a brand? Was it a Serge Luton, but a vintage one, where you said the feel in the hand for that bottle was so cool?
Yeah. Ergonomic.
What fragrance was that?
The way Serge Luton's feel in the hand is incredible. But it could be anything. They're my favorite bottles. I was actually going to make that point about, do you know the Dior Privés? You know the Dior Privé collection? I think their bottles are absolutely lovely. The way they feel, the weight of them, the fact that you can just like hold them in your hand. Yeah. Like, I like the 250s. I like the 250s because they've got weight, and they've got like they're very big and tall, and then the sprayers on them are really satisfying as well.
The 250s are massive. They feel like bricks.
Yeah, I love them. I absolutely love that.
They get a little bit hard to spray though at that size.
Oh, I love it. I love them. Like my Eau Noirs are fantastic for that. My Eau Noir, Cologne Royale. What's the other one I've got? The Queer. Oh, what's it called? Queer Canage. Queer Canage. Those three. There, and then I've got the 450 mils, which aren't even sprays. They're just splash. What else? What are the other ones that I like? I think the Serge Lutons are like probably my favorite bottles though, because of just how sleek and elegant they
Several
are.
people are mentioning Serge Lutons as some of their favorites in the chat.
Yeah,
I like those. Yeah, they're very elegant. Yes, very easy to handle.
I like these Amouage bottles too. I think they're
a great
classy.
bottle.
Yeah,
I agree. Great
because
bottle,
they switch up the. You know, they switch up the design, they switch up the stone, but they keep the general, like, you know, Amouage DNA. I think the Amouage bottles are perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
Classy without being gaudy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A great representation of the culture too.
Yeah, because of the Kanjar dagger. This is supposed to be like a Kanjar dagger top.
Daniel's saying my personal favorite bottles are L'artisan ones. I've always struggled with the L'artisan caps, the gold hexagonal caps, but he loves them for the exact same reason. There you go.
I'll tell you which one it was, Anush. It was the Féminité du Bois by Shiseido. That is an incredible bottle to hold. It's like holding a woman. It's absolutely amazing to hold. It's the most ergonomic and aesthetically pleasing bottle that I own. Obviously designed by Serge Vuitton, who knows his way around the bottle. You can tell that he's got nothing to do with the brand anymore because the new bottles are full.
Anuj, you were around when Terry Mugler launched. You were talking about it earlier. What was the women's fragrance or the big woman's
Angel.
fragrance? What was it?
Angel.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Sorry. Do you remember what the reception was like when Angel launched?
Oh, it was huge, massive.
Really?
It was massive, man. What they did to give you an idea of how powerful a seller and how popular it was, not just in department stores, but independent retailers like companies like ourselves who had access to that fragrance from the distributor. They did refillable bottles. They were one of the first, more getting into a more modern era of fragrances. They were one of the first to do the concept of being able to refill bottles. Now, I'm not talking about the old school where you have like a canister or a unit and then you buy the refill, like the cartridge. This is bottles that could be opened and refilled. So each department store and then even our store would have this giant 500 ml dispenser where customers would bring back their Angel refillable bottle and they would pay much, much less to get the 25 ml refilled or the 50 ml refilled. And it was so popular that us and department stores were having to buy these 500 ml cartridges to put into that unit on a monthly basis, sometimes 4 or 5 at a time. Like it was on the level of like we talk about a lot of these game changer fragrance. Angel was there.
Angel was massive, but was it always popular from the day of the release? Because from what I understand, it struggled for several years before it caught on, just because it was so different and so bold of a perfume.
It wasn't like Poison or CK1 where there were lineups right from the get-go. So you're right, but it still sold a lot. But it just gained momentum. It was one of these fragrances, I would say, that started the word of mouth thing, where it took a little bit longer because of the intensity of the fragrance. People were not used to something like that.
Yeah.
But once people who stopped throwing caution to the wind and stopped, we need to worry about what other people say. A lot of women decided, I just like it, so fuck it, I'm going to buy it. And then it would just catch on fire. It just caught on fire. But it was like a steamroller, man.
Awesome. Did you find that men were wearing it back then as well? Or no, What about today?
Today, yes and no, because now I think it's the last couple of modern formulations are very different from that old vintage. And then especially Angel is one of these rare fragrances, same with the Amen. For some reason, a lot of the old vintage juice turns very quickly. I don't know what it is about it, what ingredients they use or whatever, but compared to a lot of other vintages, it really, really turns like really quickly.
I'm getting some debate in the chat about Mugler bottles. I like the creativity of the Mugler bottle. I like the star, the shooting star. I like the alien bottle. The Womanity was a little bit weird with the kind of like the chains and the tapping.
It was garbage. It was a flop. It was that was a pure case of just, we got time on our hands. We're in a third quarter. We need another fragrance. Fucking let's just put this shit out and just put the concept in the name. But yeah, if you go back to the original Angel for Women, the concept of that bottle, like, don't tell me there was no, creativity behind it. That's a fantastic bottle too.
This is a fantastic bottle, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Lagerfeld designed this. My vintage bottle's under lock and key, under armed guard, but he designed the cap where you could put your finger in here and just pull it off. The old one used to make this sound because it was metal. This is plastic. But the old one would make this clink whenever you would take it off. I love this bottle. Lagerfeld was just the man.
What's the inspiration behind that ring?
Camera.
I have no clue. I just think he thought it would be cool to be able to just pull it off.
I think it was something to do with the camera. I'm sure I've heard that it was something to do with the camera. I don't know that. I just seem to remember that it was something to do with the camera.
Well, I know Photo was inspired by the camera.
Yes, that might be what I'm thinking about. You know?
But I'm not sure what inspired the ring itself, because this came out in '78.
I'm sure there's a story behind it.
I was just looking at this. One of the. Give us 2 seconds. I'll tell you. The opium bottles. Opium bottles were really interesting. I really like the Pavarotti bottle because the Pavarotti bottle looked like the bloke's bust basically. It is essentially Pavarotti's stamp. And I'll tell you something else as well. I really like the Hermes Essence bottles. The old Hermes, the Eau de Hermes bottle.
Yeah, the tall rectangular ones.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah.
They fit good in the hand.
Absolutely. The 200 mils. It's really hard to get a 200 ml bottle to fit well in the hand. The 200 ml bottle fits beautifully in the hand.
I think something that's underrated, caps of bottles sometimes can add a really different element and mystique to some of these. That felt that Ramsey was showing. The bottle is wonderful, but the cap is what adds to it. If the cap was just a normal without that ring, look at the bottle completely different than what it is.
Yeah. I like a good cap too. I like a good presentation.
I like a good built-in sprayer. A built-in sprayer can go very wrong.
Yeah.
But the Balenciaga Pour-On bottle, the Koros bottle, those built-in sprayers, they're really good. I like those.
You don't see built-in sprayers much anymore, do you?
No, I think it's hard to incorporate that design with the new style of atomizers. The atomizers now rarely go wrong, because I think they've got a certain design about them, with the ball bearings in and stuff.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Louis Vuitton bottles? I like them. I think they're classic. I think they're very modern. I think they're sleek. I like the caps. I wish the magnetic caps were just a little bit stronger, but I think they're great bottles. Fit in the hand really good.
I think the Louis Vuitton bottles make the cap do a lot of the work. I think that's very clever. I like that. I like the idea of that design because if you look at the Louis Vuitton bottles, they're just normal bottles. They're just like a good, nice stripped back normal bottle, and then the cap does quite a bit of the work. It's the same with the Gucci bottles. That Gucci high end line.
Yeah, of course.
The cap does a lot of the work on those as well. I actually like the Gucci Guilty bottles as well.
Yeah.
I think they fit. I think they fit really nice in the hand. Gucci Guilty Absolute.
Do you like that, Ramsey?
Yes.
That's the incense one.
Yeah, I really like this.
I think it's a great incense. Rich keeps asking me about Avignon, and I'm like, if you want an incense, get that Midnight Stroll by Gucci.
Yeah,
it's my favorite church perfume.
Oh, your favorite?
Yeah, probably one of my favorites. I would rank up there as far as dark, tarry, churchy, dry, dusty pews, frankincense, that sort of thing.
It's good. It's the only good one from the line, I think.
Oof. I like a lot of them from the line, but they're also very different than what you're used to.
This is a fantastic bottle.
What have we have here? Yes, that's right. Crazy. Do you think Dali designed that himself?
Oh, maybe. He was still alive when this came out. I think he only died like a couple years later, though.
Yeah. I mean, the lips are something straight. I mean, he almost certainly designed the cap because that's straight out of something by Dali, but I don't know about the rest of the bottle.
Yeah, there's another actually.
People would die for those lips today. They're like duck lips.
Big lips.
People pay big money for those lips. Kind of reminds me of Mick Jagger, that cap.
That's right. But the bottle is fantastic. I mean, the bottle is oblong. It's not actually. It's almost like the Feminita Dubois bottle in shrunk.
There you go. Yeah, it looks like it's a very good ergonomic bottle with a great cap, very artistic. I like that, and it doesn't surprise me that's a Dali because Dali was this really eccentric artist.
Yeah,
very interesting character. All right. Anything else, gentlemen? Plans for the rest of the day?
I'll be going to sleep because it's like 10:15 here now.
You'll be messaging me in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's probably right. I sort of like I tend to wind down slowly and then sort of pass out when I'm in the middle of a conversation with someone. I don't like to waste a moment.
We'll wrap this up slowly. We're at 1 hour and 40 minutes and just about what we planned on doing. So
yeah, I'm going to take off too. I haven't broken a bottle in about a month, so I probably need to go in the back.
Don't break the one you're looking for me.
How's business, Anuj?
Good, steady, always steady.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's always even Steven. You know, retail is so volatile. It's like up and down. You get, a few weeks of nothing, and then a few weeks where I just feel like, what, is everybody placing their fucking orders at the same time? Like, and then it's like nothing for a few days, but it's always steady. But you know what? Lucky and blessed, damn good. Business is good. So no complaints.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, Anuj is from Enchanté. You'll see it's pinned there at the bottom of the screen. Go check him out for vintage, hard to find, discontinued perfumes. He's a great supplier. Great friend of the community, not only here, but all the other YouTube channels. Anuj, we appreciate you, man. You are a great man in a world that is constantly looking to take. You are always giving back, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's always a two-way street. The amount of love that I get is the amount of love that I give back. And like I said, you go around and you watch people's streams. I know you don't have to, but people put a lot of hard work into this shit, right? And for the most part, at least the streams that I watched, I don't watch any of some of the dumb gimmicky ones, but streams like you guys are passionate. You guys are putting yourself out there. So, there's got to be some love coming back there, right? So,
yeah,
love you guys. Great doing this. We'll chat.
Take
it easy, guys.
That shirt looks good on you.
Yeah, thanks. Quatrefoil, yeah. All right, take it easy.
Talk to you soon, buddy. What an awesome dude.
Yeah, awesome. Anuj is the man.
It's great. There's so many different ways to do YouTube videos, and it's great that he's just come here and connected with us. So I appreciate him. Talk to Anuj quite often privately. He's genuinely a great man and full of knowledge too. So much information in that head of his.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I once texted him. Sorry, Rich.
No, sorry, man. I just said he's like a great historian because of how long he's been around for, and he's been on the other side of the business as well to us.
And he does love it. You can tell he loves it.
And he said before, like himself, he doesn't wear perfume. Like he doesn't get excited about perfume as.
And that's it's a little surprising.
The scent itself, he's more on the business aspect, but he still always has a lot to say, and he has an opinion, and he has a lot to offer for somebody that's not like obsessive compulsive about the scent itself, like we are. You know, that he's still interested in coming here and joining us and sharing his time, which is awesome. It's great.
I once texted him at 10 o'clock at night about an Antaeus bottle he didn't even own. Like it was someone else. And he probably spent an hour with me going back and forth on pictures, if it was real, if it, you know, the distributor. And I ended up buying the bottle based on him saying, yeah, no, it's legit. If he didn't give me the green thumbs up, I probably wouldn't have bought it. And it's the only 80s Antaeus bottle I own. It's 100 mil. And it happened to be actually a subscriber to your channel who sold it to me. But I didn't know that at the time. It was just a random eBay posting. But he helped me determine that the bottle was legit, and he got nothing for it. He just did it out of the passion. He's like, I love doing this stuff, Ramsey. I mean, you don't find people like that all the time. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Awesome. All right. So before we wrap this up, Fosco's asking, what are some of your best finds on Enchante? I'll let you guys answer that. And before we say goodbye, and that goes out to the chat as well, if you guys want to chime in.
Oh, God almighty. Most of them, if I'm being honest. Most of the stuff I found on Enchante. Teatro alla Scala. Alla Scala, I beg your pardon, right? I've only got like a 30 mil or a 50 mil or something like that. What a fragrance that is. That's fantastic. Carolina Herrera for men. The original vintage, that is immense as well. Some of the vintage Guerlain Samsara EDP. Gucci Envy. I got a bottle of Gucci Envy off them. It was just a partial, but I mean, I'd have taken 5 mil of that stuff, you know. All of those Balenciaga pour arms that I got, like I literally sleep better at night for the fact that I've got like I know I'm not going to run out of that stuff now. The Pavarottis as well. Gucci pour on 1, Gucci pour on 2. Basile Uomo. I could really just open up my cupboard, like, and just start rhyming stuff. You know, like I could just start going through everything. Probably be easier to tell you the stuff that I haven't bought that I didn't like. Do you know what I mean? That the stuff that I've bought from other people, like basically like almost all the stuff I've bought from them. I mean, at the shaker bottle of Bellamy, the first reformulation of Bellamy.
He gave me this.
Yes, exactly. Like he'll do that every once in a while. He'll just be like, "Nah, you can just have it."
This was like, a freebie because he heard me talking about. I don't have it.
Yeah, I the other day picked up a bottle of Habit Rouge by the cap, and it fell directly onto my bottle of Escada Pour On, which I had worn 2 days previously, and it smashed. And Anuj took it upon himself to go through his inventory, got back to us like either later that day or the day after, and he was like, "Here, I found one for you." I was like, "Oh, mate." I was like, "Thank you very much." And he was like, "Hey, you can have it." I was like, "Oh, I feel bad." Do you know what I mean? I feel bad. Like, cause I was like, fuck, I don't know. I feel like I should give some money to charity or like donate some time or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I need to do something for the world. You know, I need to pay back. Is why I try to be like nice to people, like in the community as much as I can, because you come across people, like you say, you don't come across people like that very often.
Yeah.
Especially not when they're like business people as well. You know?
Right.
Yeah. It's nice to be nice. And you get back the energy that you put in. That's pretty true.
I labeled I probably have 5 or 6 Enchante hauls labeled on my channel. If you search Enchante, you'll pull them all up. Or if you go to the playlist on my channel under hauls, you'll pull them up. But he found me 3 bottles of Antaeus Sport
cologne. Yeah.
I
didn't know that existed. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I didn't know that existed
until him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and the other thing about Anuj is that he will watch my videos, and the freebies that he sends me will be stuff that, like, I'll say I want. Like, one video I said, oh, I'd really love a bottle of Gucci Nobile, but I'm not going to pay $800 for it. And in one of the hauls, whenever it came with this, a bottle of Gucci Nobile. You know, now it's just a partial, but hell, that's enough for someone with my collection. You know what I mean?
That's very generous and thoughtful.
If you do business with him regularly, he will, like, look out for you as well. That's a very personal touch that you rarely see nowadays. You know what I mean? He found me the only bottle of Charles of the Ritz Koros that I have, and he had to hunt for it. And then when I got it, about 40% of it was missing, and I was just telling him I didn't want him to do anything about it. I was just saying, hey man, I know you said it was a full bottle. There's actually only about 60% full. It didn't leak because I would have smelled it from across the street before it even arrived at my house. So I know it didn't leak, but just FYI, whoever you got it from, you know, it wasn't filled up all the way. And he's like, no, I'm refunding you. And I was like, it's not why I'm telling you, Anuj, you know, don't do that. He's like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm refunding you the 40% that's gone. Like, that's the kind of person that he is. And that's why I feel comfortable continuing to work with him.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Always giving back. Great guy. From Avengers to Fantastic Four to Three Musketeers. All right, there you go. I mean, my last time I picked something up there, it was vintage Chanel Cristal Splash. I got Lagerfeld Classic Splash Vintage. I got Vintage Woman's Obsession. A little bit earlier, I got Balenciaga Roomba, which I love. So always finding, like, these really hard to find discontinued pieces that I love. Just like a great place. And I love that I just live like minutes from there and I can dash down whenever I like. Or even better yet, like, now that I got the address to the warehouse is even better, right? Maybe start doing some personal shopping, but
that's right.
It was right down the street from you, and Rich found it.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
He did.
That was me on my hunt for Pavarotti. That's how I found the Parfumier as well.
Oh, I love Le Parfumeur, but their prices are.
They've gone. They went up before the. Yeah, they went up in anticipation of the prices going up, like that, like about a year before the curve. You know, I still love them. They're lovely people.
They are,
but the prices are a lot.
All right, it sounds like I've got some company, so I've got to run. It's been great having all of you here, Paulo and Anuj, Ramsey, Rich. Thank you so much. It's been a blessing. It's great having you guys here in this space. Always love, you know, chatting with you guys and interacting and with the chat, sharing and bullshitting, you know, and just having fun. And I'm glad that we can pass some time together. So enjoy the rest of your days, and I can't wait to see you guys soon.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Good seeing you, Rich.
Everybody in the chat.
Cheers.
Bye for now. We'll see you soon.
Ciao.